On the morning of her 7th birthday, Katie awoke to find the cutest little kitten she had ever seen sitting at the foot of her bed. The kitten was watching her with a curious look in his eyes. "Hello," said Katie. "What's your name?" But the kitten just looked at her mischievously. "Happy birthday," said Katie's mother from the doorway. "He doesn't have any name yet. We thought you would like to decide." "Thanks," said Katie, leaping out of bed and giving her mother a huge hug. "He's just what I've been wishing for." Katie and the kitten bonded instantly. Though Katie received lots of other lovely gifts for her birthday, nothing compared to the little bundle of fur that bounced around the room. "You need a name," said Katie, kissing the little kitten on his nose. But try as she might, she couldn't decide what to call him. With her parents' help, she made a list of ideas. Cookie, Ginger, Fluffy, but none of the names were quite right. When it was time to get ready for bed, Katie sat and brushed her hair, while the kitten lay on her bed and licked his paws. "Have you thought of a name for your kitten yet?" asked Katie's mother, coming in. Katie shook her head. "Why don't you think overnight?" suggested Katie's mother. "I'm sure you'll have thought of one by tomorrow. Now it's time for him to come downstairs so you can go to bed." "But he wants to sleep in here with me," Katie protested. "He told me so." "The decision is final," Katie's mother replied. "He'll sleep fine downstairs in the hall in his snug new basket," she promised. But nobody got a wink of sleep last night, especially not the kitten. All night long he mewed and mewed and mewed and mewed. In the morning, Katie's parents decided that they would have to move the kitten into the living room. "Perhaps it was too cold for him in the hall," said her mother. "At least if he is in the living room, the noise will be muffled so he won't keep everyone awake." Katie cuddled the kitten and stroked his fur. "I'm sorry," she whispered in his ear. "I know all you want is to sleep in my room." The kitten looked up at Katie and purred. "Worst of all, I still can't think of a name for you." That night, Katie's mother put the kitten's basket into the living room. Katie woke up to the sound of her mother shouting. Quick as a flash, she raced downstairs. "Oh no, little kitten, what have you done now?" All over the sofa were rips and tears, and had little kittle marks. It was ruined. "Right," said Katie's father. "From now on, the kitten is sleeping in the kitchen by the back door." "But Dad," cried Katie, "why can't he just sleep in my room? He won't even cause any trouble, I promise." But Katie's parents were in no mood to listen, and so the kitten's basket was moved to the kitchen. The next morning, Katie rushed downstairs to check on the little kitten. "Oh no," she cried, gazing around the kitchen in horror. It looked like an elephant had been let loose. There was food and mess anywhere. Katie's parents were annoyed at the mess, but concerned too. "How much trouble can one little kitten cause?" said Mother, picking up the remnants of Dad's newspaper. "If he doesn't start behaving himself, we may have to think about finding a new home for him." "Please don't send him away," cried Katie. "I think he's just lonely. If you let him sleep in my room, I'm sure he'll be good as gold." "It's worth a try," said Katie sad, "but just for tonight. If he makes any mess or keeps us awake, I'm afraid he'll have to go." So that night, the kitten's basket was put in Katie's room. And before they went to sleep, Katie talked sternly to the kitten. "You must try your very hardest to be good tonight," she told him. "Otherwise you will be in real trouble." She also promised him that if he was good, she would definitely think of a name for him in the morning. The kitten just looked at her and purred, and Katie was sure that he had understood. In the morning, Katie opened Katie's bedroom door very gingerly. "Goodness me," she exclaimed. Katie and the kitten were on the bed playing, and there wasn't a single sign of a mess. "He was as good as gold all night," cried Katie. "Can he stay?" "Of course," her mother said with a smile, "as long as he behaves and keeps out of trouble." "That's it," said Katie with a huge grin on her face. "That's the perfect name for him. I'll call him Trouble."